Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Let's Argue About It. Now, before y'all start, I just want y'all to know I normally don't associate myself with Saints fans because you know how I am with being a diehard Falcons fan. But today, we're going to make a special case because I got Nick and Marlon Watson here, leaders and founders of World Envision, right?
Yep,
Appreciate y'all
absolutely.
for coming, bro. Appreciate y'all for
you for
coming.
having us.
Appreciate y'all for
Appreciate you, big
coming.
dog.
You know, so let's get it started, man. For the viewers who don't know, right? Who is and what is World Envision?
Well, I'm Marlon Watts, co-owner and CEO of WRLDINVSN.
I'm Nicholas Clark, co-owner and designer of WRLDINVSN.
And our mission is that we provide original designs and branded fashion to urban youth who feel stagnant and trapped by what the environment tells them what they can and cannot do. So what we mean by that is we were the kids who, was growing up and, you want a better life for yourself, but you don't technically know how you're going to get that better life. And a lot of times you feel like trapped or stagnant and you really don't know what to do or where to go. And we realize it's just through like community, information, and execution, like you can ultimately accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish. So we were already doing our brand, not knowing what the brand was going to become ultimately. When we was 13 and 14 is when we started. It was just like
So y'all known each other since
yeah,
yay high.
yeah.
Okay, y'all grew up together.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So it really just started with us selling candy and iPhone accessories first before we even got to the clothes. We was the kids that would go to Costco, Sam's, bust down the candy.
Yeah.
Quickly realized that wasn't making no money. Well, turning $1 into $2 ain't a lot.
Yeah,
And so
shit, man. It's a start though. It's a start though.
It's definitely
It's
a
a start.
start.
You know what I mean?
Then we decided that we was gonna start selling iPhone accessories. So we got on eBay. We was getting like the long chargers, rechargeable cases, buttons, and that started making money. For example, like you could get 10-foot chargers for $7 and then sell each for 10.
Yeah. $2 profit right
and
there.
then from there, we was spending all our money on clothes because we started to go out. We was going to football games, basketball games, house parties. And it's look good, play good. We trying to get them girls.
Come on.
And so we decided that instead of just spending our money on clothes, why not invest in doing the brand? So that started with just us going on Uber prints and going on Custom Ink and just like making stuff from their sites and getting them to send it to us, which we realized was quite expensive. And so, we pretty much got on YouTube Academy and Google University and figured out that you could go to your local screen print shop. You could start bringing in your own shirts. And that's how we started to do it to bring the cost down. Mind you, at this time, it's still just a hobby. It's just something we doing on the side. I'm playing football, basketball, baseball. Nick was an actor. He was going to acting school, in commercials, doing graphics on the side for money while still doing the brand. And we both decided that we was going to go to the same school. Nick ended up like staying in my apartment because he didn't want to stay in the dorm. So at that point, we like, all right, we going to school, let's start doing the brand. And just so happenly, Nick had a teacher that was seeing that he was doing the brand and invited him to go meet with another lady that was called Miss Kathy Wyatt, who was over this business incubation program, SBA specifically.
What school was this, by the way?
Louisiana Tech.
Okay,
Louisiana Tech. And so inside the program, we really realized that we had a lack of information, a lack of community, and a lack of leadership, all the things we talked about at the beginning. Absolutely. And it gave us that foundation to take our hobby and turn it into a business. Is where we really started to learn about, what we say, taxes, profit and loss, balance sheets.
Taxes.
like team building, cost of goods, customer acquisition, like break even, like just like things a business will do. Things you do in a business. Some people might be even watching and don't even know what that is inside of just running a business. And it's okay that you don't know it, but it was the fact that we got exposed to it and we wanted to learn more and put ourselves in that environment to grow the business. And so fast forwarding after college, we decided that we was gonna do it the brand full time. So I ended up deciding not to do the whole pro day NFL deal. Nick decided that he was going to dedicate his time to the brand full time. And I moved back to New Orleans. Nick kind of stayed in Ruston and got the online going. We opened up 3 locations in Louisiana. We was in Marlow, Louisiana, Riverwalk Mall, and Oakwood Mall. And, those locations were generating anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000 per location. Mind you, COVID happened, knocked all of that whole infrastructure out. We pretty much was paying rent while not being open because we was in a contract.
Yeah.
So we decided to shut down those locations. We switched our focus to mainly going on 100% online.
E-commerce.
Started running Facebook ads, getting on, doing text and email marketing, started getting on YouTube and stuff like that, and our brand just, people resonated because one, they had already prior seen us like hitting the streets. We had the store, so we had already built up a customer base. It wasn't where we just was online and nobody kind of knew about us, so it was more in line, oh, I seen them at Essence Fest, or I seen them at this event, and now they seeing us on the Instagram feed and they just were supporting. So it went from, shipping 10 orders to shipping 1,000 orders in one day, having 50 employees in one location, managing, customer service, production, fulfillment. We had content, we had community engagement, and that's at a time when you don't have no AI.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
so
trying to tell you.
like,
So,
straight
real
manual.
quick though. So I want to, cause I'm a businessman, right? From top to bottom. How were you able to scale that and get the amount of people to be able to go from 100? Because if it's overnight, were you already built for that operation to be able to be at 1,000, or were there some hiccups when you did that, right? Because you're so used to 100, now all of a sudden you got 1,000. That might be causing shipping delay because you're not used to that volume. So how were you? Now a lot of businesses, they get a lot of volume quick, right? You go viral overnight and everybody's showing up at your shop and then you don't have enough to feed everybody, right? So how were you able to like make sure that you still kept the same customer service even when you scaled that quickly?
I would say for us, I don't think it was ever where it was like an overnight where we couldn't handle it, but we built up into that point, because what we talk about is like the systems that allow you to get 10 orders, not gonna allow you to get and push out 100 orders. And a system that got you 100 orders and pushed out 100 orders, not gonna allow you to get and ship out 1,000 orders. So our systems like evolved over time, which allowed us to have those type of days. And when you put those systems in play, we were able to like recruit because we was on the college campus and our brand was so familiar. People wanted to be a part of it. So it wasn't where like getting a lack of people was the problem, but it was putting the people in place that we quickly realized was an issue and we had to do. For example, when we left, first getting our first team members, it was more about like, we was just happy people was helping us. Like, and that's gonna only get you a certain amount of orders. Just like being happy that people are helping, even though you paying them. No structure, no goals. And then it's like we would leave and come back and only one box would be done. And we know you helping, but like this ain't really helping if we not moving forward. So then we started to come with like, okay, you gotta do this amount of boxes in this amount of time, so we know that we actually on pace. So when we started doing stuff like that, it allowed us to grow our business and be a little bit more predictable. Another example, we was handwriting on cards. Like once we reached a certain amount of orders, we would need to hire a whole team of handwriting, people that's handwriting to keep that, versus us being creative in our mind and saying, how can we do this exact same thing, but just in a different way? So we told Nick to create cards where it looked like somebody handwritten on them and put the quote or the message on there. And then we put an image of what the design on the other side, so we're promoting it. And now we slide that in cards and it's taking seconds versus us being stuck writing on orders for hours and hours and hours. So those are like the type of things that you're gonna have to figure out in your business that's gonna allow you to, ship out 10, 100 to 1,000 orders, even though it's not even coming in.
Yeah, I think it's like just listening to him say this is like a mindset unlock and a marketing unlock. Meaning until you have the market, like, because when we started our business and speaking to the person, if I'm speaking to my younger self, we didn't start a business with a lot of things. Like we had to be resourceful. In the way that we unlocked like the business that we have right now, it was because we had great marketing. But the marketing unlocked a new mindset, meaning, all right, we started running Facebook ads that allowed us to start getting like 10 orders a day. But we realized that if we getting 10 orders a day, we need somebody to ship these 10 orders a day, because we realizing that 10 orders turned into 20, 20 turned into 30, and we getting behind. So that marketing made us start to think, damn, if we getting 10 a day, let's just set our operation up to get 100 a day. So whenever we start adding more fuel to the fire on the marketing, then we are already gonna be ready to ship out 100. So I think everything that we did, for one, we thought about it as marketing. Like, how can we do the most with as little as we got? So it wasn't like, let's set up an operation to ship orders when we never had orders. That wouldn't make sense. We always thought about what kind of content can we create to get as many orders as we can. And then that unlocked the mindset of, damn, now that we, having this result from what we're doing here, how can we set up our operations so we can scale? Our mind would have never expanded the way that it expands now if our marketing would have never allowed the brand to reach different places, different areas, and get the effect that we actually have.
Okay.
So now that we think how we think, we always think from the reverse engineer aspect, meaning, let's just say we drop a new product, like, or whatever it is, we always think from the highest level, and then we just backtrack from there, and then that's how we
get to the
that's how we get to the end result. But I think that if somebody watching this video and they really want to know how to go from like 0 to 1,000 orders in a day, I think you got to unlock the marketing first.
Man.
And then the marketing is going to it's going to create the problem to unlock the mindset.
Yeah.
Because without the problem of having 1,000 orders, your mind can't even think that far away.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
That's what I would say.
I'm a marketing major, so, you know, that's why I got marketing. So I understand all this marketing that y'all saying. I 100% agree with that. So what I want to touch on with this marketing is, I talked about this, I want to say, in my last episode, right, with Anna. And shout out to Anna real quick, because she's the one that introduced me to y'all. So shout out to them. Shout out to Jughead.
Shout out.
Because without them, you know, I wouldn't even know, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be able to sit here with you guys. So I appreciate them for coming in and being able to make that connection. But when we talk about marketing, right, I always talk about the story, right? So for you guys, when you guys first started thinking about, okay, marketing is the way we want to be able to get our brand out, or we want to be able to do some unique marketing, right? What was the one moment, or what was the marketing piece that you guys did that said, okay, boom, yeah, this is what we finna, this is gonna take off, this is gonna work, right? And I know there's two of y'all, so is one of you guys more the business guy, or is one of you guys more the marketing guy, or is it just a collaborated effort, right? Because I get it, everybody has their roles in the business and operation, but what I really want to talk about first, though, is just what was that one marketing moment where you guys were like, nah, this is the shit that's gonna work.
So I think for one, we both business and marketing guys. I think that we learn from each other from both avenues. Like, Marlon was creating videos, you know, you could go type in on YouTube World Invasion 2010, and Marlon was making videos all the way when we was 12, 13 years old without even making money from the content, but it was just creating content. So I would say we business and marketing together.
Okay.
Obviously, one of us may, hey, let me make this video while you focus on this, or you focus on this while I focus on that. You know, that's different. That's task, roles, managing our responsibilities. But I think the one thing that we unlock from marketing is storytelling. So what just you realize, you know, when it comes down to selling, because there's so many people selling you things. Like, we all getting sold something. We getting sold stuff right now. He's shooting our video. You know, if he might present to us, hey, I could shoot your next video. Or he'll sell us something. You got this going back. You know what I mean? Like, it's so many people just, you get on your phone, it's ads. Like, they selling. But what I realize is that selling, you can't sell somebody something from their conscious mind. Meaning, you can't just go up to them and say, buy this. But if you go up to them and tell your story, you could sell from the subconscious. Subconscious, when you speak to the subconscious, it makes people move in a direction that they don't really know that they're moving in. But when you speak to the conscious, they don't necessarily move directly as you say. So instead of telling somebody to buy this, you know, you would tell them a story on how this product connects with them. And it's like the famous video of like, sell me this pen. I'm sure everybody's seen the, what it was, Wolf of Wall Street. But that's a famous thing where it's like, sell me this pen. And I watched that video a lot on YouTube, and he always said, people always sell the features instead of the benefits. So instead of selling the features, sell the benefits. Like, you know, don't tell me to just buy this pen because, you know, you want to write on a paper or anything, but tell me to buy this pen because your thoughts written down becomes your reality. So now I'm telling you a story and I'm moving your subconscious rather than moving your conscious. So now you like, damn, you're right. You know, if I'm writing my thoughts down, that becomes my reality. What do you need to write your thoughts down? You need this damn pen. So that's a different way of selling. So what we realized was, and I say the TikTok market made us really excel in this, even though we not TikTokers. But we started making videos on TikTok where we was telling stories about this and this and this. And it wasn't the perfect storytelling, but as it started to kind of catch some traction, then you start to dive more into the data of the content and realizing like, what do they like the most about this? And then from there is how we unlock we started our brand with 12 shirts and $120. Never change that. Don't come on the video and talk about how y'all started a brand with 12 shirts and $120 and think that on the next video you gotta talk about something different. Nah, that same story is consistent in every piece of content that you create. Because it's like, if you telling this one story here and then telling another story there, you're not allowing people to digest and share with other people. And if you keep telling different things, it's almost like creating another product every single week. Like some of the, you're gonna see the same products that we have for 5, 6, 7, 8 years because that's the core product. So you have your core story. So you use your core story to tell on every platform and every social media. And that's when people can start to gravitate towards your brand. And that's when people get to share your message too.
Yep. And just to add to what Nick's saying, I think we also figured out that the trust in your vision aligned with us as well, because it's like we started with 12 shirts and $120, and if you trust in your vision, obviously you see the result of what we have becoming with our brand become. It gives you a sense of believing inside of yourself as well, and like a lot of that is just what we put out, like trust in your vision, like put yourself in the right environment and just follow your dreams, honestly.
So here's my next question, right? So we talk about marketing and storytelling. Do you think that people buy the story or they buy the product, right? So when you mentioned the subconscious and the consciousness of buying something, right? Do you think that even with brands, there's a lot of brands out there that sell stuff, but to be real, I don't know the story of Louis Vuitton, but yet they sell a lot of stuff, right? But do you think people buy it because of the hype of the product, or do they buy it because of the story? And how do you differentiate yourself as, you know, designers and world leaders to be able to say, okay, boom, I don't have to go and do this or make this an exclusive thing to be able to sell the same type of stuff Louis, Nike, and them are doing. I can do this on my own scale at maybe a higher scale and not have to make this an expensive product. Because I think I've seen on your guys' page where you guys were selling shirts for like $1.25 at one point. You know what I mean? So like that's something that not people selling for $1.25 at a what? How are you doing that, right? How are you even making money off that, right? Because everybody will think like, well, how is he making money if you're doing that? But again, it's a marketing thing, right? So do people buy the product or do they buy the story?
I think you want get on this and
yeah.
cause I feel like
You go first.
I think it's both, bro. Like at the end of the day, but I will tell you something. I could cuss.
Yeah, come on, bro. Yeah,
I think you could sell a shit product with great marketing.
Really?
But
okay.
I think that when you have great marketing and have a great product, I think your business just explodes. So, because obviously people once they get the product, they're gonna say, you know, it really wasn't what I think it is. But I'll be real with you, I didn't bought something from Kanye West, you know, and it was $20. I waited 3 months for it and it wasn't the best product, but I'm still gonna buy from him because I like Kanye West. So that brings me back to when you talk about Louis Vuitton. Everybody want to compare a brand that we started 10 years ago or a brand that they started 1 year ago with a brand that been around, you know, past like your great grandmother.
Facts.
So like you thinking that the story is not selling the product when like they don't necessarily have to share the story with you because that's not, for one, we not their target audience.
Yeah, not anymore. Yeah,
and the influence already like that's a whole different marketing effect.
Yeah.
Because you really buying that product because of brand association more than brand story. But in reality, they have an amazing story that you just haven't dove into to become a fan of that brand because you're actually not a customer of that brand.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then we don't realize that like it started with story and it started with a specific way that they built the brand, just like us. But we 300 years down the line now. So now is a different way that they get in front of you. And the way that they get in front of you is by the people that you listen to, look at, and are influenced by. And we don't buy that brand because of story. We buy that brand because we want to be associated with that brand.
Okay.
And we want people to know that when we have on this brand is a certain type of status that it brings to you.
Yeah.
So it's different in a way where storytelling and the quality of the product.
Okay.
So I would say I would take it different, and I would say looking at a brand like Nike maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
And yes, you buy that brand because of story, because you might not think you do, but who is that brand associated with? LeBron James. What is LeBron James associated with?
NBA.
Greatness, legendary, the king. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
he really go that far. It's crazy. It's cool. He go that far.
He really just took everything that
you get what I'm saying?
What was in my mind? He literally just
okay.
said.
That's why y'all said it.
So now when you go buy Nike, you get what I mean? You are thinking about yourself in a more like I'm telling you, you buy a specific pair of shoes to go play basketball.
Yeah. 100%.
Because not only you think that it's a great product, but you still like subconsciously think about that brand have been worn by these people, and if these people are this great at what they do, when I put this product on too, it's gonna put me in the best position to do what I need to do.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So I would say it's just different.
And I'll just to add the last little touch, I think consumers consume in different ways. So you know, some people, they like LeBron for how he played, and then some people like LeBron for what he do outside of sports.
Yeah. I respect LeBron outside of it. He's a great
It's like
father,
a
all
lot
that.
of different pockets where people fall in love with brands or people in a different way than how everybody else may fall in love with it. Because some people may go to Louis Vuitton because they say that, you know, I didn't have this belt for years and nothing never happened to it. And then some people may go because they specifically just want the status.
Okay.
So like everybody have different like ways of why they buy. And I agree with everything that Nick said with the, you know, Louis Vuitton been doing it for years. It's almost where like, you know, as a consumer, if you want to learn their story, you can. That's the whole thing about it. Some consumers aren't educating themselves about, some consumers don't care to educate themselves about a story. They want just the status, or they just want the product because their friend wearing it. So like that's a lot of times where like you go in a place and you don't know the story because you don't ask. Yeah. Honestly. Okay. And for us, where we are, we at the position where we want to share our story to a lot of people because we know that that's a competitive advantage that we got to get new customers versus not telling our story.
Okay, so just a simple yes or no. 100 years from now, you guys will still be storytellers and not just, like, is that what you guys want it to be? You want still this to be a storytelling thing, or do you think that 100 years from now you'll be kind of like I'm not going to compare to Louis, but just, you don't really need to tell the story anymore because when you guys first started, you guys currently already did it. If people want to research it, they can look it up. Or do you guys still think 100 years from now, and you guys give it to your kids?
But we got a vice versa that. They're telling their story through other people's lenses now because of how big their brand is.
So you always gonna tell a story. You always gonna tell a story, and you always should focus on having amazing product, and then just let the market just do what they do from there. But it's core marketing things that you need to do: storytell and have great product, and just allow the market to just go from there. Just like Marlon said, you don't know the core Nike story, but the Nike story is being told through other people's lenses. That's why they sign it. They got a budget to sign these people because the story must go on.
Got you. Now I understand that. So we talk about Nike, right? So you know I'm about to ask y'all next, right? You know, I don't really like the same, but we're gonna talk about it. How did y'all get into this partnership with them to be able to do, you know, the collaboration? Like, not everybody gets that, right? So what you guys are doing, clearly, like I say, started with 12, got to where you got. Now you guys are with major NFL brands that are associating yourself with good product, right? So how did you guys get there? What are some lessons on the way there that it taught you? And like, what kind of impact did being in, you know, being with them, especially being in your guys' home state and city and X, Y, and Z, like, how did that feel?
I would say like it's like a two-part series. Okay. Because like opportunity like only happens like after you execute, prior to. Okay. So for us, we were already executing at what we was doing at a high level. And when people see you executing, you know, they want to be able to give you an opportunity because they see what you're doing already and how you impacting the city and what we was already doing. So the opportunity really presented itself to us in a way where they reached out to us and we really didn't even get it inside of our email. So really it could have been where like, you know, it's all done. But just so happened how the world aligned, somebody that we was working with ended up meeting somebody else that they told them, hey, I'm doing some work with WRLDINVSN. And that person knew the person that we got connected with at the Saints. And they was saying how they was talking and they was reaching out to us. But I guess it was inside of our DMs and inside our email. We never got it. And so they told them, and then they said, we're going to make the connection together. Absolutely. So that's what I mean by like, we really didn't, the opportunity found us from us just focusing on being the best at what we're trying to do. Absolutely. So like opportunity is going to present itself to you when you grinding and when this, I just want to make sure I'm being clear. It's more like not having forced opportunities because a lot of people try to make an opportunity for themselves versus focusing on like doing the best that they could do with what they got.
And opportunity finds you.
And opportunity finds you because you out there giving the best energy in this specific space at what you doing. Yes. So it all come back in the line. And once again, we got the connection, sat down. So now fast forwarding it to the actual Saints, now that we got the connection, it was like, okay, you guys present some ideas to us. So we went, Nick cooked up in the kitchen like Chef Curry. Yeah, okay. And we presented the ideas to them. They had a few tweaks that they needed to make. The Saints approved it, and then we had to send it off to the NFL for approval. The NFL approved it. They needed a few more tweaks as well. And then we came to the drawing table. Then we had to go to Fanatics. Fanatics had to approve it. We ended up getting a purchase order. We ended up deciding what day we was going to drop it. And it actually was on Saints versus the Falcons that we dropped.
Did we win?
I think y'all did.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that was clear. Want to make sure that was clear. Yeah, but you know.
And then once we got the approval, it was more or less, how do we release this?
Yeah.
So before we was just gonna put it out, I was like, man, no, we can't just say, oh, Saints collab. I'm like, we gotta like make them feel like, do y'all want this to happen? So that's when we was like posted it. We posted it and we was like, what it would look like if we collab with the Saints. And then we told, like, this is all us and behind the scenes, telling the Saints with the comment on there, like what to do, like we gonna collab,
how to share it,
like put on there looking eyes or whatever.
Yeah, like they gonna
and then the next day I'm like, Nick, we gotta follow up. I'm like, man, tell them we flew down there and we signed
the video that we made was old. Like people don't even know we've been working on this for a long time.
Yeah,
long time. So we already was shooting, but they said we couldn't post anything.
Yeah.
So like, bro, the video was old, but the way that we cooked it, we like
storytelling.
It's going from back to, but this was all us at our crib, you know, and we just had them. We posted that, had them comment on it. We already had the content coming because we had already did it.
Yeah.
Right, but we couldn't do anything until it was official. But but just going back on making it happen, and I'm gonna make it short. It's two things that Marlon said, which I want everybody to understand. The number one thing is you get what you focus on. So if you want brand partnerships, you should just be out there like a dog hustling, looking for brand partnerships, going to these places, emailing them, going on LinkedIn, emailing the right person, and just going for it, and you're gonna get a partnership. The other thing is being the best at what you do and being yourself, and then let opportunity find you, not just saying like something gonna pop out the sky, but it is gonna be people that's always watching you and your journey, and it's gonna be people that wanna collab when collaboration makes sense. So those are the two things that you gotta pick. Yep. You know, do you really want partnerships and you want them now? Well, start reaching out to a lot of people. Do you wanna just be the best at what you do? Keep telling your story and allow brands that connect with your story to collab with you, then do that.
Yeah, for example, like what you said earlier, this same example, but just in a different way, because I like to speak where you could visually see it in your mind. So go do it. We went do pop-up shops, and a lot of people be like, I don't have no team. What happens is if you're doing pop-up shops at a high level, you're gonna attract people that want to help you. So I would literally go to colleges, set up the pop-up, and just so happenly, because the mind frame that I am, I'm going out there to turn this school up, have music, we about to have a good time. Yeah. People see me going out there like, you need some help? Yeah, hell yeah, come on. Now they grabbing the boxes. Next thing you know, it's set up, they looking at it, it's nice, they like, dang, like, let me check out your brand. They're like, damn, I'm actually in the marketing. I'm like, okay, you could sell? Yeah, well, let's see if you can sell right now. Now, next thing you know, I got and grabbed some people just off the campus, and they working and they helping, and then I'm like, man, give me your number, you did good. And now it's a follow-up. And that's what I mean by like opportunity help, but it was like me going out there myself already, and I was gonna do this myself regardless.
Yeah. But see, what's so cool about that, and I think a lot of times people don't give people their credit, right? You were gonna do it regardless. But you didn't have to give other people the opportunity to be a part of something that you were already gonna go do. Does that make sense? So like what you mentioned is you getting people off of campus. People don't understand. Being on campus, especially as a marketing major, I was one. Jobs ain't just like easy to come by. Like internships ain't just an easy one, and they're not paying high enough. So be able to tap in with a brand that's high level, and then like, hey bro, I'm gonna give you an opportunity, and they're able to take that opportunity, sell something, and you're connecting with them, and they're learning from you. Like you also were doing a service to those campuses that you were on. So just so you know, never lose thought of that, because like even though you were gonna go do it, y'all were gonna do it, y'all still provide opportunity for people that are, wanting to be a part of that. Cause you know what I mean? Cause y'all are teaching them literally for free, low key. Cause it's like, hey bro, I got a product, we can hustle, let's do it, let's figure it out. And then they look like, damn, okay, this is what I need to do. So you don't know how many brands, and you probably get tons of DMs, right? I got a guy right here behind the camera who started a whole kiosk business because he seen what y'all was doing, right? Absolutely. He picked up from Louisville, came all the way down here to start his own business, and he was like, man, and I told him, hey man, I got these guys coming, I know you got a brand, like maybe you could, like bro, them the people that, not gonna lie to you, they made my journey what it was. So like you say, people are always watching, but I just want y'all to understand, we gonna give y'all flowers real quick, just Absolutely. Like, hey, you guys have helped other people to try to reach their dreams. All right, so we just want to make sure we take that.
I appreciate it, and I won't give everybody back their flowers because it's only for the people that want to be helped. So we put the information out for the people that want to be helped.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who may watch it and don't do anything with it, but there's so many people out there that do want the help, and those are the people that actually take action on the information and they power and they daily grind. They go out there and do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we talking about the help, right? You guys are doing an event at TSU today. I know this video will probably drop after the fact, but this event is something that I imagine is going to be continuous for a while. So let's talk a little bit about what the event you guys have going on at TSU and what it is you guys are, trying to portray or trying to give out to the student body.
So typically we do our own Activate Your Vision events where we would go to different cities and invite entrepreneurs, brand owners to come in, and we would do like panels or just putting everybody in the same environment. Or what we see right here with Cool Dads, like the environment is so important because it allow that creativity, it allow that awareness to be unlocked that you might not have when you're talking to certain people. So basically, Experian, the credit company, saw what we was doing with our Activate Your Vision, and they already had what they had going, but they thought that we would be a great align because they're going to HBCUs and to be able to have not just some, president, that they really can't relate to, but some people that could be more relatable to where they at and what they're trying to accomplish to be able to talk. So they chose us to be able to host and be on the panel, really just to talk to the students and give them our feedback and expertise. So it really isn't where this event that we're doing at TSU is our own event, but we bring in our vision and our view to those students because we a lot more relatable to them. And then we also get the opportunity to be a part and do like the marketplace and sell our product and share our story to them. So that's the biggest thing for us is we being able to get in front of new people and share our story. And ultimately, like you said, it's crazy. I thought about this earlier and for something else, but like honestly, when I'm speaking, I'm realizing that 50% of the people they're not there. And what I mean by not there, they're physically there, but like no matter what I say, it's still I want in out the other, and it's just that they're not ready yet. And then like 30% of those people, they're gonna hear the information and it's gonna put a seed inside of them. But it may not be where like something gonna happen immediately, but they're gonna start noticing stuff. And then 10% of those people, they're gonna hate me after because the stuff that I'm saying is gonna touch a nerve inside of them and it's still because you ain't received it, because you still got that bug inside of you and I'm trying to put a new system, you're rejecting it. And then 10% of people gonna really take that information, execute it, and they may become millionaires. So at the end of the day, I'm already realizing that it's only gonna be a few percentage of people that really execute on what we're saying, but it's the fact of the matter, like whoever those, if it's, 10 people, 1,000 people, like that's when I'm nothing.
You change one person's life, that matters, you know what I mean?
It's crazy because it's like, and not to go like off a tangent, but it's like, that's what I'm talking about the people who want to make a change. That's the people that I want to speak to now because it's like I want to treat them how I would want them to treat me. I'm trying to think, how can I explain this? It's like you really try to help so many people and you realize that they don't want the help. And then when you try to help the wrong people that don't want the help, they become something that you necessarily didn't want to train them to become. So now I speak to the people that, even if you're not listening, I really don't care. Because the person that do care, that's the person that I see, oh, all right, he's becoming the real thing that I ultimately put my information out for. And what he's saying is like, I had to learn when I was just getting started in the business world, bro, I could read something and then not comprehend it. Like I could really sit down and read a whole paragraph or something and not comprehend it, not just know what I just read. And what he's saying is like I wasn't there mentally. And then when I was reading something new, my system was rejecting it. So now what I'm realizing is that I started to work on my comprehension skills. So whenever I listen to something or read something, I would play it either back if I didn't understand it and kind of go through it again and then tell it to myself so I can understand. And then start to compartmentalize it in my mind in places where it needed to go. Is this in my marketing compartment? Is this in my management compartment? You get what I mean? Is this just in my personality department? So like that was how, and then working on my communication skill too. That was how I was able to develop myself as a better entrepreneur And that also allowed me to develop myself as a better learner as well, and choose the people that I want to learn from, because that's the direction and the avenue that I want to go in. And that's the kind of people that I could learn from and pull things out of and actually speed to where I want to go faster.
Yeah, okay. So you talk about helping people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just talk about like from the community aspect. What do you guys do? I mean, I know you guys do a lot in the city. So just a couple of things I know. What do you guys do? What's your most impactful thing that you do for the community that you're like, man, every year, every month, or whatever it is, we got to go do this to give back to our community, the people that help get us to where we are?
I would say it's like a few major things that we do, but on a day-to-day basis, it's the reason why we on YouTube. We have over, 638 videos within, 3-4 years.
Sheesh.
So
I was pushing that, huh?
So I mean,
Trying to do my math.
we was doing
Videos.
2-3 videos per week, and now we slowed down because we processing all of that we did, and it's just like I was making videos since I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
I'm 30 now.
Yeah.
So like now we have a whole different mind frame. I got a family we just talked about
come
now.
on
It's
now.
not the same person that was coming on that when we was 18 and 19.
Yeah.
So just learning our new narrative and new branding is kind of what I've been pondering over. But on a bigger scale, on a consistent basis, we partner with Steve Harvey on Father's Day.
Wow.
We
Fire.
typically donate shirts to all of the boys that they have, and we go and we speak at that. We have done our WRLDINVSN Classic event, where we would do it in Ruston, and they would have over 300. At the last one, we had 300 people, and that would be a celebrity basketball game. We partner with different schools and organizations to go in, and similar to what you guys are doing with, just giving them the information. We would go back and talk about business, stocks, not just even clothing brand, because what we just want you to understand is like entrepreneurship is all around us at this point. Everything is about business and marketing and NIL now. So just understanding if you're not in the game at all, you out the game. And your brand is what's gonna ultimately like carry you. It's the reason how some people gonna get jobs, how some people gonna, ultimately make their first million, because of the brand that they're building now is gonna put them in the door versus like, you know how you used to be like, who you know?
Yeah.
It's gonna be like your brand. Like, let me see what your brand look like.
Yeah, what's your brand look like?
Is what's gonna give you the opportunity, because now that I may know you, but this dude over here, his brand cooking.
Yeah.
So this might make what I got going a little bit better versus me just giving you.
And
the
not
shot.
necessarily the brand like WRLDINVSN, but the personal brand, like the person. Yeah.
Correct. Like what that person able to like bring to the table outside of a relationship, like a person could have other connections, they could have other relationships, they could have production, they could have marketing, they could have skill sets. Like it's gonna be like, how do your brand can connect with other brands to make something bigger versus me just giving you a shot just because I know you.
Absolutely.
So one more thing, right, before we get into like the my favorite parts of the segment, but I want to talk about dreams, right? So, you guys have, again, a brand, you guys stuck with it, you guys roll with it. But prior to that, you guys both, like you mentioned earlier in this video, you was a superstar athlete, actor, right? At what point, and I mean, I envision that when you guys were doing this, you guys were passionate about it. You wasn't acting just to be, because I was like, all right, cool, whatever. You wasn't playing sports and not being passionate about it. So at what point, I know you kind of touched on it, but do you guys feel that there's any, I'm not gonna say regret, because that's a bad word, right? You guys are very successful right now. But is there anything that ever lingered in you guys when you guys first were starting off, like, man, I could have really still been playing something, or hey, I could have really, went and continue to act? Or do you guys, do you guys do it in a different way now? Like, let's say you coach an AAU team, or maybe you do side acting classes now, or whatever it is. Like, do you guys still hold on to those things that you guys were doing when you guys were younger? Or do you guys just like, hey, that was what I was then, but this is who I am now, right?
No, I think you make a decision on like what you want to do in life, and you just do it. So, everything that I got myself into was presented to me, and I had a decision to say, this is what I want to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it was my decision to say, I'm going to do it at the best of my ability. And then it was my decision to say, I really want to be an entrepreneur. So I would say, you get what you focus on. Like, do you want to play ball, or do you want to go be an entrepreneur? Do you want to act, or do you want to be an entrepreneur? Like, whatever you want to do, like, you make a decision and you decide to do it. The brand would have never reached this amount of people if we ain't make a decision and say, this is what we're gonna spend all of our time, energy, and focus on. all the rest of the stuff, we gonna impact way more people through this than doing X, Y, and Z. And it never was about like the money part. It never was about like, and I'm not gonna sit here and say like you shouldn't make a decision, like, cause if money is the number one thing that you want, you should make a decision on where you're gonna get the most money at.
Yeah, fair.
But I think that we made a decision to be entrepreneurs because we understood that came with it, and not just what came with it, we wanted to compete at a high level. And it don't matter if it's, I don't care what you do in the world, deciding to be an entrepreneur is deciding to compete at the highest level possible. So we competitors. So I think that that was the career choice that allowed us to compete at the highest level.
Yeah, and then just to add, to add on to what Nick's saying, I think the biggest thing that, I would just speak for myself, from a regret standpoint, it's just like you always just have to make decisions faster. I think we was young. Like at times we was the oldest person in the company. And let's just say, like our customer service manager or whatnot, she was graduating college. And she had got another job for Amazon, but then she came back and was like, hey, I really want to stay here, but this is what I need. And in our mind, we already kind of knowing that that's not what the business may need, and she may need to she need to continue to do the opportunities that she have in front of her. But in our mind, it's like, you know what, like,
let's make this right. Like
let's make this right. Let's make this work. Because of what it's going, ultimately maybe do to the business. Versus like, realizing that business is going to be what is going to have, tough decisions and stuff like that. You're going to have to make tough decisions quick. Versus what the outcome is or not. Because it's like leaving. It's like now it's like we don't know what the outcome when she leave on. Who we gonna put in here?
Yes.
Is this other person gonna do is right? And so in your mind, you're like, man, we gotta keep, and you'll be doing something for a long time. Versus at the end of the time, you could have been heading in the direction you wanted to go, because 3 months later she was gone no matter what. So, or is investing in something and seeing that it's not working and figuring out, hey, we may need to. It's okay to cut your losses.
Yeah.
I think sometimes in my mind it's like, we gonna get this shit right.
Yeah,
ain't cut no loss. You know what I mean?
You ain't taking no loss,
so
man.
I think it's the regret of that, of like
yeah.
investing in things and just being like, I'm pounding my head because I'm a person that, I'm a team player. So it's like, in my mind, if, all right, we lost this game, okay, well, damn, we just gotta do some more plays, work harder, train a little bit. But if we keep losing, it's at a time where the coach gotta make a decision. Some of these pieces not fitting in. And in our mind, it was tough for us to let pieces go because we grew together, or, we see the potential in this person or what this could be. But it is what it is. Like, you can't, at a high level in business, as of right now, 30,000 people getting fired with an email.
Yeah. And
it's just business. And you got to separate your business and your personal feelings. And I think that would be like the biggest thing I would say I would want to improve on as I was growing, because I was a very young entrepreneur. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So my first question is gonna be for you, because you talked about entrepreneur and competing at a high level, right? So the question for you is, do you think being a successful entrepreneur is harder than being a successful athlete?
I mean, that would be tough for me to even answer because I'm not an athlete, but I'm gonna say God gave me the ability to be great at everything that I did. So if I had a little bit more height, I think I would be the best athlete in the world.
Okay.
That's just how I think.
Same, brother. I feel
But
the same.
I would say entrepreneurship, it comes with different compartments. Like, it comes with multiple compartments, and you don't have somebody that is there to hold your hand. I'm not saying the athlete have somebody that'll hold their hand, but I'll give you an example. If when you start from the Pee Wee League, you go there, you don't pay for anything, technically. Like, you go to the park, and you got coaches out there, and you got trainers out there, and you just show up at a specific time that they tell you to show up. You do exactly what they tell you to do. If he look at your size and say, oh, you being D-line today, or you running back, guess what you gonna do? You gonna be that. But with entrepreneurship, ain't nobody like, nah, you gonna sell clothes. Hey, you gonna sell iPhone. Like, you don't. It's not a pad that somebody playing out for you. So you might go to park ball and you've been playing running back all your damn life. You think you about to get to high school and then say, I don't want to be no running back no more. I want to be a cornerback. Nah, your ass gonna be a running back. You get what I'm saying? Because this is what you've been doing your whole life. So now it's the same thing. High school, when you go there, do you pay? Like, unless you go into a private school, did you pay to be on that team? Now you was on that team because you had the skills. And then sometimes when you got the skills, people pay for you. You know what I mean? So it ain't, that ain't the same game in entrepreneurship. When you decide to be an entrepreneur, it's almost like you just walked into space. It's just empty. It's just like now you gotta start building shit from nothing. That's the only thing that I would say is the difference. And I could be wrong, because once again, I'm not an athlete, but it's like you kind of have still like a structure. And then that structure, even if you don't go to the league, that structure is at least something you could bring into that black world I just talked about. You at least start with a structure.
Yeah.
But if you just woke up out the womb and say you wanted to be a damn entrepreneur and you ain't got no guidance and you ain't got nobody who around you as an entrepreneur, like your parents or, you know, this person that's trying to, you know, just give you the game, I feel like it's not that, you know, one is harder than the other, because it depends on the person that's doing that exact thing. But I feel like as an entrepreneur, you have to develop your own structure.
Yeah, I feel you.
That's what I would say.
I ain't gonna lie to you, brother. Everything you just said, it sounds 100% harder to be an entrepreneur. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I say that because of the simple fact what you just mentioned. You got a whole bunch of compartments in there that you have to learn. You have to learn business. You gotta learn money. You gotta learn this. You gotta learn that. Not saying you don't gotta learn as an athlete, but it's just like you mentioned. There's nobody there to hold your hand when you lose, like you just mentioned, 10 racks.
Correct.
You just made the wrong business move.
You feel me? Because an entrepreneur, the definition of because you could say a business owner, but the definition of an entrepreneur is somebody who manages and operates multiple businesses.
Come on now.
A business owner can be one business owner.
Yeah.
They can own one business.
Well, I say entrepreneurship.
So an athlete is not somebody who does multiple, like, well, you can in the term of an athlete, but an athlete can't play the NFL and the NBA at the same time.
Not at all.
They can't. They pick one. You get what I mean? So like you gotta focus on that. But an entrepreneur could have a car wash, a grass cutting business.
More like an NBA team, an MLB team.
That's what I'm trying to say. You can have multiple things.
Multiple operations.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And so, you know, now my next question for you, Marlon, right? We talked about earlier how brand, you know, when you're looking for stuff, branding matters, right? Branding matters because if this person's brand, this person can have a great story, but if their brand is bad, right, it ain't gonna be worth the damn, right? So my question to you, right, would you prefer a great brand or a great storyteller?
What you asking me? What I prefer to be a great brand?
Like if you had to pick one, so like if you got to start your operation from ground zero, and they say I'm gonna give you kind of like the Red Bill.
You probably should have gave this question to me.
Yeah, I should have gave you that, right? It's cool though, but see, this is why I asked you this, because you guys are one and the same, so you got to be able to interchange, right? So what I'm saying is, right, my question for you, Marlon, if you get two options, you can either take the good brand or the good storytelling. What do you pick first?
I'm gonna pick the good brand. Why? Because I would say storytelling is gonna become reputation, but brand is already built reputation already. So your brand is what people already know, like, and trust you for. So if you already have people that know, like, and trust you, your story changes over time because time goes. My story that I had when I was 10 years old, not the same story when I was 15, not the same story when I'm 20, not the same story when I'm 30, 40, and so on. So that's gonna always change. So I can always reinvent the story to connect with people based off of where I'm at in my life. But if I have a good brand already as well, then I'm gonna be able to reach more people, and it's gonna be more likely that that's gonna convert into sales because I already have a strong brand, and I'm gonna create that good story because your story changes as you go. Versus having just a good story, because that could fade out. Like everybody have a good story. Everybody have a good career in college, but then what happens when you get to the NFL?
Come on now. Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, well, I appreciate that answer. Right now, I got one more bonus question, right, for you specifically. All right, bro. So, you know, this year we got 2 games, right? So we're going to rewind this tape, right? So what's the record like? What's the record going to be for us between the Falcons and the Saints this year? Do you think I think we're going to sweep y'all, but what do you think?
I'll go 1-1.
1-1? Okay, I get because of the touch division. That's a neutral answer, but we go run it back though. When I get 0-2, we go replay this clip. And I need you to send it to the Saints department so they post this.
I feel like it's always a battle. I feel like
facts.
I feel like y'all may get the I feel like we always play that in that middle of that end game. But if it's when it's to that end game and the playoffs on the line, we gonna go ahead and get y'all. Y'all may get that first one.
Yeah.
Whereas like it's a trap game.
It's a trap game?
It's a
Okay,
trap game
all right. But yeah, man, I appreciate you guys. Again, World Envision, right? Follow them on Instagram, follow on Facebook, YouTube, all those good things, right? Appreciate you guys for sitting down with us. Is there any shout outs you guys want to give to the people, your team, anybody like that?
I mean, really just all the viewers and the people that's been supporting us since day one, A1. Shout out to you. We love you. We couldn't do it without you, and you can't do it without yourself. So just keep grinding, trusting your vision.
Hey, appreciate y'all for watching this video. Appreciate you for having us. Hey, shout out to all of our family, even Marlon daughter. Let's give a special shout out to
Come
Marlon
on, man.
daughter.
He a cool dad, right? He a cool dad. And what's
Cool
gonna
dad.
bring my shameless plug, right? Shout out to Cool Dad. Shout out to the organization. Shout out to my org, right? Always want to connect with fathers. If you're looking for somewhere to connect and you're in Houston, matter of fact, you don't gotta be in Houston. You can still connect with us. Follow us on Instagram. Come down and shop with us. We got a lot of good merch. We got a lot of good things coming, especially this summer, right? If you're looking to get active, you're looking to get back, you're looking to get with these kids, man, we need you. Presence over payment. We will love your presence right here today. So again, shout out to y'all. Shout out to being here. Again, shout out to Jughead. Shout out to Anna. I got my young boy Isaiah. Shout out to my cameraman, right? And we out, man. I appreciate y'all.
Let's
man.
get
I
it.
appreciate y'all. Boom.